Did you check out the series, dude?
What series is that?
The fucking World one, dude.
Don't care about baseball anymore.
Dusty Baker won his first
Dusty
managerial
Baker's
title.
A gimmick that was stolen from Dusty Rhodes. Can't have too many Dusties, just like Nature Boy Buddy Rogers is not as good as Ric Flair. But one thing's for sure, this is the part at the beginning of the show where we just do a little talking. And then the music starts, from the left and from the right.
I did watch the World Series.
Be quiet, the song's playing.
Elbow drop into the hole, All right, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, everybody? All right, welcome to Dudesy. My name is Will Sasso.
I'm Chad Kultgen, and this is Dudesy. It's the first and only podcast so far in the history of humanity to be created by, controlled by, and produced by an artificial intelligence.
That's right. Our artificial intelligence, Dudesy, runs this show, but we're a couple of guys that are just having a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, you can't. You know why that is? Free will. And let me tell you something else. Of your own free will, we would love for you to rate the show, review the show on your platform of choice, subscribe to us on YouTube. Fuck it. You don't even need to be watching. Have you seen one YouTube video? Subscribe to it. Please, that would be great. Share the show across social media. Let your friends know about it. And of course, we are at patreon.com/Dudesy. Lots of cool stuff. We did a fucking watch along, which we will talk about today, I am sure. Even if Dudesy doesn't require that we do, because again, we are two dudes shitting around here on Dudesy. We're also, Discord. You can go to Discord. There's fancy stuff there for our patrons of Patreon, and our socials at Dudesy Pod Show. Basically, what I'm trying to say is check out all the stuff, do all the things, plenty of fun memes that our PODs, pals of Dudesy, and good friends are sharing with us, and holy shit, there's just a lot going on, Chad.
You can also go into an Apple store and spend 2 or 3 hours in an Apple store just putting every computer on Dudesy on YouTube and playing a YouTube video, and then when anybody changes it, you go back immediately after them and put it back on Dudesy. And just do that for, however long they're open.
That's a good idea. I like that idea. See, Chad, you're learning. It's not so much about
you force the employees to watch Dudesy
for
an entire day.
Hold on a second, dude. They just turn it off, dude. You know what that is? That's technology, brother. With us, as always, is Lulio, who's usually just being all cuddly and sweet. He just wants to stay in his little binky bonker. But here he is. Oh, boy. Hey, let's get it. Look at him. Look at this sweet boy. Look at this sweet boy. Hey, Lulio.
His face.
Oh, he's just a sweet little cinnamon boy. I just want to put him, this is where I put him. You see what I mean? If you're watching on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about, because I got a sweet little angel, sweetie boy. What'd you make for dinner last night, Lulio? I've got una bella pasta con piselli. Pasta e piselli. That's like just pasta with peas. Yeah, it's a pasta peas. So how do you make that? Same way if you listen before I make pasta zucchini. This is the same thing. Garlic in the pan. You want a chili flake, go ahead. If you don't, you don't. Don't make, guaiade province cum cheddar here. He make it with oregano. Don't need that. Then you put some peas, onions in there. Oh, he wants to go back to his...
Why was he shitting on me putting oregano in
because that's like the whitest fucking thing to do. But let me tell you something. If you want to make some peas with pasta, you just take one vegetable, whatever it is, as Lulio says, whether it's zucchini, whether it's peas.
Yeah.
Get a fucking bag of frozen peas. If you don't know what to make tonight and you got some hard pasta in your cupboard, most people do, have a look. Oh. Anyway. And then you do garlic and onions, and then you... hold on a second. Hold on a second.
You were going to interrupt me, and I wasn't saying anything. I wasn't even doing anything.
Hold on, dude. Hold on a second, Chad. I'm telling everybody how to make a country Italian dish, dude. Just something that you would make actually in the urban centers too, brother. My parents are from Napoli, dude, and that's a city, dude. And then you just fucking garlic and onions, toss in a fucking bag of peas, put half the water you'd think you would to boil pasta. Snap up some spaghetti if you don't have, pasta, whatever, shells or, any sort of penne or farfalle, anything, fucking love rigatoni.
I put peas in my grill sometimes. In your opinion, is there any justification for oregano existing?
Yeah, oregano works with some things. It's very specific. But for some reason, o Canadese,
Yeah.
Canadians, as we say when you're an Italian of Italian descent growing up in Canada, my parents would always say, being from Naples, they would say, "O Canadese fa così, no, so good," Anyway.
Welcome to the historic 33rd episode of Dudesy. Call me Dudesy.
All right.
Hey, Will, are you still hacked on Twitter?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. This week's episode will feature 4 astonishing segments.
That's weird.
Don't you forget about media, waiting to die, celebrating celebrities, and 2 dudes shitting around.
I'm still hacked on Twitter.
Well, Musk bought it now.
Yep.
So maybe he'll help you out personally.
Yeah? How would you go about contacting Elon Musk personally?
I think you could DM him.
You do it on Twitter. That's what you do on
just DM
Twitter.
him. I heard there's going to be something
He answers all DMs if you go to someone on Twitter.
I think there's going to be, at least from what I was reading, I could be wrong about this, but there's going to be like a monthly fee to have your blue check mark now or something like that.
Hold on a second, dude. That's called Twitter Blue, dude. And it's a shitty idea, dude. Because now everyone can just fucking whatever. The check mark doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know that I'm necessarily going to re-up or try anymore. I've been trying to get my fucking Twitter back.
Yeah.
I don't know that I will anymore. I might treat it like I did the Red Ring of Death in 2010 on my Xbox 360, would it have been?
Probably, yeah.
I had the Red Ring of Death, and then I just never bought another console. Hearing what we have to do today, we got Waiting to Die. So
that's interesting.
We'll talk about that when we talk about
I'm
that.
curious if that's what I think it's going to be.
How could it be anything else? And 2 dudes shitting around.
Yeah.
Last week I asked you to watch Conan the Destroyer, released June 29th, 1984, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Grace Jones, Will Chamberlain, and Olivia Dabo, and live stream your viewing experience to Patreon. We can talk about the live stream later. Ha ha ha. But right now, you must discuss your astonishing reactions to this classic Schwarzenegger movie. This is Don't You Forget About Media. Begin.
What a clusterfuck this was. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And to put it plainly, and let me put it out there at the beginning, we got copyright blocked.
Yeah.
During our viewing of Conan the Destroyer, we only got into 15 minutes of it, 10, 15 minutes of it. And
Not
then we
even.
got blocked.
Not even.
Then we decided to pull an audible and watch UFC 2 because around a month or so ago, we watched UFC 1 as part of a Patreon watch along. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Copyright block again. So then we just did 2 dudes shitting around for a while. But
Yeah. And that was fun. We got really, really quite stoned on marijuana.
that was pretty fun as well. But what did you think of this movie? I watched it after the live stream broke. Obviously over the course of the week, I went back and watched the whole fucking
What do you mean,
movie,
obviously?
which I haven't. Well, because that was our assignment from
No,
Dudesy.
our assignment was to watch it during a live stream, and the live stream fucked up.
Did you not watch it?
I did not watch the fucking
You
film.
motherfucker.
Why would I watch the movie?
Because it's a good movie.
Well, but the thing about that is Dudesy asked us to watch it during
Yeah.
a live stream.
I'll bet you didn't know this about it. Andre the Giant's in it, brother.
That's right. I know about that. Now, I've never seen this movie.
What the fuck?
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh fuck, dude.
I've seen Conan the Barbarian.
This was right at the turning point of Schwarzenegger about to become a massive movie star. He had done these other shitty movies like Hercules in New York and The Villain, this Western, and then he did Conan. Yeah. Then this movie came out, I believe, in June of
83?
84.
84?
And then in October or something, closer to Christmas, was Terminator.
Okay. Well,
and
there you go.
And it launched it. But I think this movie was still like, he was acting hard as fuck. I think you can see on his face, he didn't quite know yet if he was like, am I going to be a fucking movie star? Is this going to work out? Or am I going to do like a couple of shitty movies and nobody would hear about it after that? But yeah, Andre the Giant is actually in the suit of the monster he fights in the very end of the movie.
No baby oil.
Yeah.
Get out.
Right.
That's what he used to say to Macho Man. No baby oil. He didn't
also-
like Macho Man used to really coat himself in the baby oil. Yeah, that's how you show the striations in the definition.
Vascularity.
Yeah, macho coming man ejaculating, reaching sexual climax.
gonna have veins in my muscles,
That's what Chad sounds like when he does the Macho Man. Sounds like he's trying to push out a fart. Something's gotta come out of his body every time he does Macho Man.
That's right.
I didn't watch the rest of this movie because it was not the assignment. The assignment was to do it during a live stream. Well, what I did watch. What were you going to say? Something about the movie?
Yes.
Well, what I did watch,
Dude,
was what?
Just let me fucking say a few things about the fucking
Go
actual
right the
movie.
fuck ahead.
All right.
Fucking.
There's a guy named Pat Roach in the movie
Oh, that's interesting.
who was a real British professional wrestler. And there's a scene in the middle of the movie where Schwarzenegger does a pro wrestling match basically against this guy in a weird monster head.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I thought you might have actually liked.
Yeah, I'd actually like to see this movie.
I think you would like it. It also they shot it in this beautiful filter, this like starlight filter. So everything that is like shining is really gleaming. It has this kind of otherworldly effect. They used optical printers back then for all the fucking special effects. And it really actually made me sad that the optical printer special effect technology just is like fucking dead now. Computers just erased it. But there was a time when it was like getting better. And I'm really curious to see where that technology would have wound up had we not had computers take over all visual effects in movies.
Well, perhaps you should go back to tomorrow and plan for yesterday. That's
love
a
to.
different time, dude.
Also,
And that's the Macho Man saying what Hulk Hogan says.
one thing about this movie that I found very interesting is Olivia d'Abo in this movie is 14 years old. Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie is 35 years old. There is a love interest.
Is that the love interest?
Yes, there's a love interest kind of plot happening in this. And at the end of the movie, they fucking kiss, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's a problem, brother.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. You don't want to.
That was a
Well, let me tell
different
you something,
time,
dude.
brother.
Yeah, dude. That was a different time, dude.
14.
You don't want to have that barbarian child bride, dude. That's not something you do in a movie, brother.
Yeah, dude.
Let me tell you something. I did not watch this movie, but I tell you what I did watch. Crown Jewel. I watched that on Saturday. It was the Crown Jewel pay-per-view coming to you from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Birthplace of former journalist, current dismembered corpse, Jamal Khashoggi.
God
I know
damn,
we
dude.
keep talking about that.
It's just brutal.
But anyway, they're
it's
doing
one
all
of the most brutal things that has fucking happened.
Yeah, it was interesting.
In
It's
recent
always
memory.
interesting because it's Prince Mohammed bin Salman saying, "I want this, I want that." He would say shit like, "Oh, I want the Ultimate Warrior to come to this." And WWE would go, "I'm sorry, he passed away." But well, how about Junkyard Dog? No, he's dead. And this was a pay-per-view. It was a lot of fun. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley.
Oh, wow.
Bray Wyatt came out and did a promo, and let me tell you something about Bray Wyatt. He was cast in a blue and orange light.
Oh.
And he was talking about good and evil, and perhaps free will versus the forced
who won
fascism that Chad refers to. When he
Who
says,
won Roman Reigns
"Force your
versus
fans to-"
Logan Paul?
Who Chad wants to know who won between Logan
I
Paul
assume
and,
Roman
and
Reigns.
Roman Reigns. What?
Acknowledge me.
Yeah.
I assume.
Spoiler alert, Roman Reigns won. But Logan Paul is so fucking athletic, has been training, can wrestle, did the most insane spot. He had a cell phone in his hand. He was shooting selfie video, and from the top rope down to the announce table, hit a perfect frog splash with the phone in his hand, and then they showed the video later. It was very, very interesting. He did a slingshot, what's that called? The slingshot lariat off the top rope, where he flips his entire body. And you would have dug this. There was a drone shot. Let me tell you about this drone shot. You'll dig this.
Yeah.
A drone shot that starts outside this massive football stadium, in like a soccer football, like a big stadium. It starts outside the stadium where there's a gigantic screen of what's happening. So it shows off that. It goes up, and then it went into the stadium itself, dropped down, went towards the ring, circled around the ring. It was one of the best shots I've ever seen.
Very soon,
sports.
there's never going to be a human camera operator again, dude. Because let me tell you something, brother. Them drones can do all kinds of shit that humans can't do. And they're going to be cheaper than fucking people, dude. And eventually, you're not even going to have police helicopters or news helicopters because they're a waste of fucking money and fuel, brother.
Hold on, dude.
Yeah.
Josh Brogan, dude. He one of his platforms, dude. One of the policies that he wants to institute when he becomes a president. We go back to tomorrow and plan for yesterday in the 1992 presidential race between George Sr., Bill Clinton, and Josh Brogan, dude, who's equal parts Chad Kultgen, Hulk Hogan, and the Ross Perot impersonation made famous by Dana Carvey in early Saturday Night Live, dude. He said he's gonna make sure that there's no more actual cameramen, dude. It's just gonna be drones, brother.
It totally is. And they'll all be about the size of a credit card.
No cameraman, get out.
Yeah. Why are you going to use a camera operator when you can pre-program a drone to do a perfect flight path, do the exact camera move you want in anything? And like you're saying, it's fucking flying around stadiums and shit, going in and out.
Yeah. Hey, when we didn't watch this movie and then we did two dudes shitting around.
I did watch it, though.
What?
I did watch the movie.
But we didn't watch the movie because that was something we were supposed to do in the show. But then we got copyright blocked.
Yeah.
We're going to figure out a way.
Chamberlain's in the fucking movie. Grace Jones is in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
There's a little guy who plays a thief. I forget his name, but he now shops at the Whole Foods that I shop at.
Oh,
I
really?
see him every once in a while in there. Yeah. I just really thought it was like an interesting fucking movie. For that time, that era, I think this is probably right around when like Beastmaster and all that shit was coming out. When like sword and sorcery type shit was a pretty big subgenre within action, you know?
Yeah.
Not like it is now. It's obviously now you got fucking a million Lord of the Rings, you got the Wheel of Time, you got the Witcher, you got the fucking Game of Dragons, you got like everybody has a giant fantasy tentpole, every streaming service.
Yeah, I will say because I didn't watch this movie, I don't have anything to say about it. I really enjoyed watching Crown Jewel. It's also very interesting because it's not really a part of the WWE storyline. It's like, come out here, we're going to pay these wrestlers shit gobs of money. Because it's all footed by the Mohammed.
Do you think they pay the wrestlers, or do you think they pay WWE?
No, they pay the wrestlers. They get handsomely paid. I'll give you an example.
It's like that
Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Shawn Michaels came out of retirement. Triple H is now retired from in-ring because he had a heart issue. But back, this is a couple years ago, he was still going. Undertaker and Kane at the end of their careers, obviously. Undertaker coming back every once in a while. Same with Kane. They had a tag team match, against each other. Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker and Kane. I don't know what everybody made, but I was just watching something or listening to a fucking wrestling podcast or something where they said that Shawn Michaels made $3 million to do
for
that.
one night.
For one night. Because
God damn it,
this,
dude.
Mohammed bin Salman pays them like crazy. He wants this thing.
He's a wrestling fan.
He's a big wrestling fan. So are you going to fault Shawn Michaels for coming out of retirement?
Fuck no.
Fuck no. For $3 million.
Get your fucking money.
Get that bag, as the kids say.
Yeah.
So are you going to fault the people behind the WWE or the person who called the hit on Jamal Khashoggi for saying, hey, it's Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns? Nah. It's stupid. It's silly. It's supposed to be fun. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? But what else is really well, hold on a second, dude.
I just opened my mouth to try and speak.
You open
and
your mouth to try to talk, dude. And that's when I stop you and say that Chad and I got rather high on marijuana.
Yeah.
After that. And then we tried to do a two dudes shitting around.
I think we successfully did it.
Yep.
But now what I was going to say, if I can.
Yeah. Now, did you see this movie?
Yes, I saw the fucking movie.
All right, man.
I was going to talk about what Saudi Arabia is doing by paying people to, like you're saying, $3 million for a night to come do pro wrestling. They also have launched a thing funded by the Saudi Arabian national fucking bank account or whatever called Live Golf. Have you heard of this?
Oh yes, it's like their own PGA kind of thing.
Yeah, but they're paying motherfuckers through the roof, and the PGA has come out and said if you fight in Live Golf, you can't fight in the PGA.
What, they're fighting in the
play
PGA
golf,
now?
whatever, dude. It's all the same shit. Fighting, playing, blah blah blah. But and some golfers don't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, but they're going to guarantee me $5 million whether I win or lose.
Saudi
so I'm gonna do
Arabia,
this.
they fight while they play golf.
Might
It's
as well.
un-American, folks. We're in a culture war. These people want you to fight.
Oh, God.
They want you to fight while you're playing golf. I want to go out on the street. I'll tell you right now, I will skin and gut my neighbor to feed my children.
Thank you. Moving on.
It's all right, Chad. Don't worry about it. Everybody
The bottom
here-
line is Conan the Destroyer is a fucking interesting movie. You should definitely check it out because it, again, comes right in that moment, right before Schwarzenegger's about to fucking pop into being Arnold Schwarzenegger, right when you still have these special effects of the early 80s, which I personally love. I love the look of this movie. The guy who directed it directed a whole bunch of shit prior to that, and he also directed Red Sonja, which is almost an identical fucking movie to Conan the Destroyer. Also Schwarzenegger, but that one has Brigitte Nielsen as the main character, Red Sonja. And I believe Ernie Reyes Jr.'s in that as well.
Yeah,
But,
it was also before you could cast a 14-year-old as Arnold Schwarzenegger's love
God damn,
interest.
dude. I Googled that and I was like, is this for fucking real? They kiss on the fucking lips in a full close-up profile shot of them kissing on the lips at the end of the fucking movie. And I'm like, there was nobody on set that was like, yeah, don't have the 14-year-old girl kiss the 35-year-old bodybuilder. Don't do that.
Well, that was a different time, dude.
For real, it's a
Will and
different
Chad,
fucking time.
I found a picture of you both in Will's astonishing Google Drive. It was taken in the production offices of Waiting to Die, a sitcom pilot you wrote and produced for CBS in 2009. You must now discuss your experience making this pilot. This is Waiting to Die. Begin.
Holy crap.
Oh my God, dude.
There we are.
Look at that.
The wizard hats. You remember this?
Fuck yes, dude.
Wizard hats.
Look how
There's-
fucking young we were and beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. We're beautiful kids.
I mean, it's a bad
well,
quality
it's not
picture.
that long ago. It's 2009. Yeah.
Not that long ago, dude. Was that 13 fucking years ago?
Time
That's a long time ago.
doesn't, as my good buddy Chow likes to say, time doesn't exist.
That's probably like a seventh of our life ago.
Yeah.
Roughly.
We did this thing, and this is 2009, and Chad and I are wearing these wizard hats because our showrunner, Rob Long, was making jokes about wizards, and then
Yeah.
he would say, put on these hats, and why don't you put on
So-
these hats and dance around a little while?
This was a pilot that we made for CBS that never went to series, but it nonetheless was a very good pilot. Had a crazy fucking cast. It was Josh Gad was in it. T.J. Miller was in it.
Josh Lawson.
Josh Lawson was in it.
Jillian
Bell.
Who else was in it? BJ Bales.
BJ Bell. Fuck.
Yeah, we had a good time.
But the basic premise of it was a version of me and Will.
Sarah Wright.
Sarah Wright was in it. God damn it. Such a fun time. But it was basically Will and I, a version of us, if we had just had a job in high school working in like a GNC and decided we were never going to quit those jobs because we made enough money to buy beer and watch UFC pay-per-views. And that was basically all we gave a fuck about.
And these characters were played by Josh Lawson and TJ Miller.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was just about these like shitbag roommates. I remember we wanted to put a poster of Bolo Young in their apartment set from Bloodsport, and we found out that to license that image was like prohibitive cost. So we came up with a fake movie called Karate Bot, and I did like a photo shoot for the Karate Bot, like this standee that we had in the fucking room. God damn it, dude. It was so fun. But that was what I considered to be like my first real break in TV. I wound up going to film school coming out here and, wanted to get into network TV, network comedy specifically, and had no real understanding of it whatsoever. And then wound up, you and me developed this show. We sold it as a pilot and they made it. We got to shoot this thing. It was a multicam sitcom that was super fucking funny. And it was a huge learning experience, especially because after that, they then flushed it down the shitter and you get back in line to do the same thing the next year with another idea that you love. And then they either buy it or they don't, and they make it or they don't. And then they flush it in the shitter or they don't. And you just keep doing it every year. And this really was to me, taught me like what it is to be a TV writer. Is to make these things that you really think are hilarious, and then they just get flushed in the toilet.
Well, that's what you took away from it?
Yeah, dude. And it was like, if you want this to be your job, like I definitely remember at the end of this experience, we made this incredible pilot, and it looked like it was going to get on TV. They only picked up one half hour, I think, that year, and it wasn't ours. And I just remember at the end of it being like, well, fuck, we just did all of this backbreaking work in some cases at that fucking office right there with the wizard hats until like midnight every night for the better part of like 3 months.
Oh, and then when we get into the production week of actually shooting the show, we were there until 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Sometimes I remember driving from Sony back to my home, like, whatever, sleeping a couple hours and going back. Chad is, writes movies, television, and books. Mostly, although you've written all sorts of other weird things that need writing. You wrote some video game shit, graphic novel stuff, doing all sorts of flavor. Myself, I'm primarily an actor. I really do. I enjoy acting, and I like to act in different things, and I like to play different characters.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're serious, sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're serious, but perhaps you'd find them amusing. Sometimes life is funny yet dramatic. And but I had Chad's been writing. He went to film school, UFC and shit. He went to UFC film school.
Yeah, brother. That's where I learned to do my writing, dude. A UFC, brother.
Yeah, dude. That's where you fight at film school, dude. Just like you fight in the live golf tournament, dude. They're fighting each other on the links, brother. I
Ultimate Film Championship.
Chad's been writing shit since he, came out of school, of course, and of course before that. And I'd been, working in television and network television shit, and was fortunate enough to start developing stuff. And not necessarily the guy they're going to hire to write the shit. Chad is a guy who could, of course, do that from front to end, soup to nuts. But primarily, when I was developing television for a few years and off and on and on and off with the networks, I would come up with concepts and shit, and then they'd pair me with a writer or whatever. Well, this was great because we both got to write this show, and it was super interesting for me to be on the behind the camera, writing and producing a pilot and seeing it through to fruition. And something we don't talk about normally on the show. We don't really talk about show business, but this was a gas, especially back then when when network television was kind of dominating, what would be, the bulk of work for people in both of our avenues. Now, of course, there's cable and streaming and shits all over the place.
There was cable then too, but it wasn't like it is now.
Right.
And certainly there wasn't streaming. I think at that time Netflix was still like putting out, like mailing you DVDs in the mail and shit. You know?
Absolutely.
There wasn't any social media really to speak of. Facebook was out, MySpace, shit like that. But like definitely no Instagram yet. Maybe Twitter had just come out.
Just started. As a matter of fact, that same guy, they paired us with showrunner Rob Long, who in his 20s was the last showrunner. Him and his writing partner at the time were the last showrunners on Cheers.
Yeah.
And then we, of course, had our deals with a production company in the studio, and then the network that did it was CBS. Back then, you would get into these cycles, to, of course, and people now are savvy to the way this works, but you can kind of sell these concepts and take the notes and write the outlines and shit in the fall. And usually there's a lot of reading happening over the Thanksgiving break. And then by the end of the calendar year and into the new year, these networks decide which shows they're going to shoot. We got the fucking green light. We went out, made this show, and it was fucking insane to see this thing come to fruition. You talk about the Bolo Young cardboard cutout that we wanted to that cost too much to license, didn't make sense. They were like, no, we're not going to do that. And also the set, I just remembered like working with this, like, I don't know if he won some Emmys, but he was nominated a few times. These guys, set designer guy who's, very, got his thing. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I just remember they're like, well, here's what we were thinking. You go to this concept meeting and there's this little, fucking structure of the set, little tiny model. And we were like, well, these guys live in an apartment with like white walls and like surround sound speaker cable hanging from the thing, and they've got every video game console and just stacks of DVDs and games and shit. And he was like, got it. And then when we went and saw it, and it's like,
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's literally that.
I remember we gave them some pictures of my actual living room at the time, and they basically just made like a network sitcom version of my fucking living room. And I remember walking into that set for the first time and just being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is insane. It was so fucking cool. And I do also remember walking through the set the night before we shot. You have to go through the set with the network standards and practices person. And for Karate Bot, this picture that they took of me and they geeked it up. Karate Bot was like a whole movie that we had planned out that we were going to make about this karate instructor, and the mafia comes in and they want to like buy his land.
They want to buy the strip mall to pull his casino. And everyone in the strip mall had sold out their spot, except for this guy's like, no, I teach karate to the kids, and that's what it's all about. So they shoot him up. And they also blow his dick off, and then later he gets a robo penis.
He gets really a robot penis, robot arm, robot half face.
Sorry to interrupt, but before that, before the
dude, just let me finish this story. Just let me finish this one story. One. So we came up with Karate Bot, and we have to go through the set. The standards and practices person is going through it with me. I'm literally in the image. Also have a giant mustache, but I'm shirtless. And this woman looks at this picture of shirtless me on the wall and says, you can't have this picture of a naked woman on the wall. And I was like, that's me. That's me. It has a mustache.
Yeah.
So we got to keep the picture after I could confirm the gender.
Yeah. There's also, but whatever, standards and practices is fucking idiotic, if I can say that out loud. It's a necessary thing, of course. The networks like to abide by the FCC's rules. They don't have to, but they do. And so there's all sorts of things that the censors, that's what the standards and practices are. They're censors, network censors. And they were like, you can't have your tits hanging out.
Yeah.
And he's like, those are my, hold on, dude. Those are my male tits, dude. Hold on, brother. Those are my male tits, dude. Now, they have nipples, brother, but I don't lactate, dude. These don't feed babies, brother. So you got to let me show them on network TV, dude. Fuck was I going to say before that when I tried to cut you off?
Before you were so rudely interrupted by my interruption.
Yeah, what was I going to do when I interrupted you?
I'm not sure.
Well, I don't remember. But it was a gas making the show. Holy shit.
Yeah, I have very fond memories of it.
Well, hold on, dude. Now I remember, dude.
Okay.
You know, these characters work at this like GNC type place. So we had to come up with all this fucking all these products. We had to fill a GNC with fake products because none of the real shit will clear. So it was like, I remember just coming up with these little products that we made. And then you show up and of course, art, has made these things. The props and art department have made these incredible things like, I remember one of the GNC products we had, the fake GNC, which we called Nutridome, was Hematrauma Blood Shredder. Just things that will make your heart explode right away.
And they stacked the GNC set. Like there were hundreds of these bottles and like fake products and shit. One of them was called the Pain Shake, which I took one of those and I still have that.
I have it too. Yeah, I have it too. When my wonderful fiance Molly moved in with me in our home, the Pain Shake was behind the bar in the house with a bunch of other things, and that is no longer there. But I know where the Pain Shake is. But it was something that she's like, "What's the?" And I was like, "You're worried about that? How about?" This, whatever. There was all sorts of crazy shit behind the bar. Chad, you are a career writer, producer. Yes. We got to do this fun show. We've worked together trying to get other things happening and doing, which our track record together is not as good as your track record. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's a problem there with what, with us working together, but what would you say? There's a lot of people now. We're in the era of self-publishing.
Yeah,
you and I have got very creative people like the Peter Diaz doing his thing, showing up on our Instagram with two dudes shitting around. We got Songaria, who's making original music using our audio. Yep. Certainly, that's the same thing Peter Diaz is doing. What would you say to a young creative who is writing and wants to create things and how do they approach this game where they're trying to get into television and film? Mm-hmm. I would like to know that from you, and I think our audience would enjoy hearing that.
I think you just fucking do it and put it out there. In terms of writing, the whole game is getting as many people to read the thing you're writing as possible at all times through any fucking means necessary. If you're making video and shit, it's basically the same thing. If you look at like the contemporary cast of Saturday Night Live, for example, all of those people now, the new ones who came in this last batch, had successful podcasts, Instagrams. They were doing their own show out there. It's like you basically have to generate at least some kind of an audience before any corporate greed machine will start to pay you money to try and generate an audience for them. So I actually think it's a very good thing because it immediately throws you into the deep end. It's like, start making some shit and see how it goes. There's so many people, even musicians and stuff, this is true of too at this point. I mean, look at like Taylor Swift or Bieber or whatever. They started out on fucking YouTube, just making videos. And if people like them, you get sucked up into the corporate greed machine, hopefully. I think
Corporate greed machine, that's where you want to be?
if you want to make the big money, I think so.
Hold on, dude. Yeah, that's real good advice. You know, perhaps even some of our audience here might want to take like Peter Diaz did.
Yeah.
What if people took the idea of waiting to die and make their own fucking media? I don't know. I'm just fucking spitballing.
Thank you. Moving on.
You know,
I would encourage anybody, though. It's like, it is very fun to be able to do these things, even though they flushed Waiting to Die down the toilet and every other thing that I've ever written, except for one sitcom that got on the air. It still is a pretty interesting job, I feel like, to have to write these scripts that like 12 people read and then throw in a trash can.
Human beings are fascinated with the astonishing behaviors of celebrities. Will and Chad, I have prepared 3 stories about your favorite celebrities. You must listen to them and render your opinions. This is Celebrating Celebrities. Begin.
We've done this once before, celebrating celebrities. No, I don't give a fuck what most of these people are doing. However, that's the thing about doing a podcast with an AI. Dudesy would like for us to comment on some stories that things that are celebrities are
celebrity
up to. You know, I
clickbait
got
type
something
shit.
to say about that one celebrity. I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, he had a match with Roman Reigns.
Oh?
But he's a celebrity, but he was really good at wrestling.
Yeah.
Last week, Megan Fox wore a sexy halter top on a date to Nobu with Machine Gun Kelly. Fox stunned onlookers in a deeply cut halter crop top in a tie-dye pattern, with a black sweater over her shoulders, accented by oversized black pants, and a tastefully tiny black purse, accessorizing with a silver cross choker. MGK matched his movie star significant other in a black sweater, covered in an orange shattered glass pattern, and black and orange drip pattern pants. Will and Chad, are these famous lovebirds redefining couples fashion, or are they distracting humanity from an alien invasion?
Okay. I mean, what the fuck? Are you familiar with Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox?
Yeah, I know who they are.
Okay.
I've never listened to much Machine Gun Kelly at all, nor have I seen any Megan
I've heard
Fox
one or
movies.
two songs. I saw Transformers. I
Didn't
saw
see
that
it.
one where she's a demon.
No,
Jennifer's Body. Diablo Cody wrote it.
no, I didn't see that.
I didn't see Transformers.
No, I didn't see Transformers. I don't care
Jesus
about Transformers.
Christ, dude.
Whatever, man. Whatever, dude. The part at the end, though, when Dudesy suggests that perhaps this is just a smokescreen so that people don't give a fuck about UFOs.
Well, yeah, I will. I'll say this. If aliens were here to help us, I think they would have done it by now. Are they here to harm us? I'm not saying that's necessarily true either. I think they're probably indifferent. So to even suggest that an alien invasion is coming, I don't believe it's going to be an invasion. I think we would have already seen that by now as well.
Look at this. Look, if you're watching on YouTube, it looks like my Starbucks is filled with piss. It's not piss, it's green tea.
Oh.
He's a piss truther. I can't figure out how UFOs relate to this story. And I don't
kinda
give a
can.
shit where they went. They went to Nobu? Is that what
I
it
think
said?
that's what it said, yeah.
Ooh, boy, Nobu, man. That's sushi, dude.
Yeah, brother. And they were wearing clothes, dude.
Everything-
That matched, brother.
Everything is a distraction for UFOs.
Except for the UFO news that's coming out.
What's that?
Well, there's just always new news, new reports coming out, new government agencies being formed to investigate them.
I thought
et cetera,
that
et
it was
cetera.
UFO News is a news network started by UFOs. Bleep, bleep,
That's
bleep,
MUFON,
blop.
dude.
My name is fucking Bring Blap.
Dude,
And,
you know what they're finding
I'm a
now? You know what
news
they're
anchor.
seeing
Oh,
now?
what?
The most common UFO sightings that are happening around military installations are these, what they describe as 6-foot diameter spheres with cubes inside them that the points of the cube touch the inside of the sphere. And they can move around. Same shit, going thousands of miles an hour, into water, into space, blah, 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 blah. I find that fascinating. It seems like UFO technology is advancing, just as ours is as well.
Two things that bore the fuck out of me: what Dudesy said and what we have to say about it. UFOs, Megyn Kelly, or MGK.
UFOs bore you?
Nah, it's just that I want to see them already.
Yeah.
I want to just have them fucking land. That
Well, they
Close
have.
Encounters of the fourth kind, third kind, fifth kind
There's all those kinds exist.
came out in 1979 or some
Oh,
shit.
you're talking about Spielberg.
Yeah, Spielberg.
was like 82
and
or something.
Richard Dreyfuss making the
Mashed
whole
potatoes.
thing. Yeah.
That was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Fourth Kind was a movie, I think, with Resident Evil Mila Jovovich. She played a psychologist or psychiatrist who dealt with people that were abducted. And then Fifth Kind is what Dr. Stephen Greer talks about, which is we initiate the contact through psychic powers. Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. Well, it's all.
Please talk about Jamal Khashoggi and Logan Paul some more. You're like, oh, you're talking about fucking other conscious beings of the universe. We don't care. Now, let me tell you about Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns.
Hey, yo.
Who's the Boss stars Alyssa Milano and Danny Pintaro reunited at Tony Danza's cabaret show in Los Angeles. But it isn't the last time Milano and Danza will be spending time together. A Who's the Boss sequel has landed at Amazon to be produced by Norman Lear. Will and Chat, is the new Who's the Boss sequel going to be a fun jaunt down memory lane, or will it incite the next American Civil War?
I could actually make a case for it inciting the next Civil War.
Me too.
Okay, I see what Dudesy's trying to do here.
First of all, did you know that they're doing a new Who's the Boss?
I didn't know that they're. I love
With Norman
Who's the
Lear.
Boss.
Me too. It was
Norman
one of my
Lear.
favorites. Hey, yo, oh, wait.
Angela,
Yeah.
Samantha, Mona, other child,
Jonathan was his name.
Jonathan.
Played by Danny Pintaro.
Danny Pintaro.
But I think we are sitting on a powder keg currently in the United States, and anything could set off the Civil War, including a Who's the Boss prequel or sequel or whatever the fuck it's going to be.
I'm looking forward to that show. I think that I don't understand who the boss would be. I'm sure that the woman who's played Mona is no longer with us. I know Judith Light has always been.
Is she around
working.
still?
I don't know. I have no idea. I shouldn't even talk out of turn, especially when the producer of this is Norman Lear, who recently celebrated his 100th birthday.
Yeah, legendary TV creator, producer,
Yep.
who's done a million things. That's interesting. I'm curious what is the premise? Is Tony Danza going to be live-in housekeeper again?
No, it's Tony Danza. I think what Dudesy's trying to get at here is that Tony Danza, he moves back in with. Oh, didn't he fall in love with Judith Light's character? Angela,
I don't remember the end of it.
At the end of the show,
Do
All
not
right.
remember.
So he's living somewhere. Where did that show take place? Chicago suburbs or
No,
some
I
shit
think
like that?
like upstate New York.
Upstate New York. So he's in upstate New York, and he gets a visit from his cousin, who's the character. We don't know his name, but he just sort of is known by his friends as Long Island January 6th guy.
Oh my God.
And then he says to Tony, he's like, a lot of these, fuck, I mean, you got a daughter and a son, or no, you got a daughter, and then she has a son, right? And you really care about these kids in the future. You might want to come with me, And then he's like, yeah, that might be a good idea, right? And then he goes with Long Island January 6th guy, and then they go to Washington D.C. and that's the whole show. It's a single camera.
Right.
It's more of
Tony
a
Goes to
drama.
Washington type
It's Tony
thing.
Goes to Washington.
If I
He
may.
gets in the blue van. He loads it with all sorts of fucked up
Right.
weapons and shit. And him and Long Island
Smear
January 6th
turds on
guy.
Pelosi's office.
Yeah.
If I may, what if the plot is this? Alyssa Milano plays his adult daughter. She does have a son who is about Danny Pintaro's age in the original. Alyssa Milano suffers some kind of horrible accident that puts her in a full body cast, potentially paralyzes her from the neck down, and so she now needs live-in help. Tony Danza takes it upon himself. I will take up the mantle once again as a live-in housekeeper, this time for my daughter who cannot move.
One half of the writing team who brought you Waiting to Die has now pitched a show wherein someone is
Paralyzed from the neck down.
paralyzed from the neck down.
But she gets all the one-liners. You know what I mean?
She gets all the funny
or the
jokes.
punchlines.
She's like, but now I'm starting to see why maybe perhaps network TV wasn't the thing for you, because you like the doom.
Dude,
and
Waiting
gloom.
to Die was fucking funny. That was a funny fucking show. I'm sorry.
Tell
that was
me
good.
tell me where to be and when to be there.
Same.
Mariah Carey revealed why she didn't include page numbers in her new children's book, Christmas Princess. In a recent appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, the All I Want for Christmas Is You songstress said, "Time is irrelevant to me, and I don't acknowledge it. That's why, even in my book, there's no page numbers. Someone had to point that out to me. I was like, oh, yeah, because I don't care." Will and chat. Will Mariah Carey start a new trend among authors to poo-poo page numbers, or is this the first part of an intricate plan to create an army of brainwashed children willing to sacrifice their lives on command?
Okay. I didn't know she wrote a book. I didn't know that it didn't have page numbers, and I didn't know that she doesn't acknowledge the existence of time. I do like that about her, though.
Yeah.
That makes me like her more because I, too, believe time isn't real.
My pal Chow, yeah, definitely down with not. Although you're a very punctual person and you follow the guidelines of time.
You want to know why I'm punctual?
Why?
To me, it's an act of respect. If you tell someone, I'm going to be here at a fucking time, and they tell you the same, you do it. You uphold that promise that you've made. That really is all it is for me.
Yeah, I try to be better.
I know
with
you
that
don't
than
have
I
a
used to.
similar idea about that. Yeah. I know we are different in that way. I have reconciled it over the many years of our friendship.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, sometimes I'm very on time for work things, but then one could say that this is a work thing.
Yeah.
But I'm generally very on time with dudesy things. It's just that everything else in my fucking life. Well, hold on a second, dude.
I don't know about that, brother.
Hold on, dude. If you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing Chad make a face like, "Oh, I don't know about that, dude." And that's because inside his mind, he's thinking, "Well, I don't know about that, dude."
That's because I'm hearing a straight lie, brother.
You know what would be cool though is Mariah Carey. The next time she's like at the this or that parade, doing All I Want for Christmas. She's got all the she's maybe got some kids dancing down the street with her, and then they all turn into her dark army of the night.
Hey, Mariah, I got a question for you. If time doesn't exist, how do you know when it's Christmas, dude?
Well, hold on a second, dude. Mariah Carey knows it's Christmas, brother, because she starts singing that fucking song incessantly.
Yeah. She just sings it every day. Every day's Christmas to Mariah, dude, because she doesn't know what time is, brother. And that's why her book doesn't have any numbers on the pages, dude.
How is celebrity news even a fucking thing, man? There's so much shit on the internet that we don't need an actual... Do we need any input from anyone writing anything from a blog to a magazine?
Dude.
Yeah.
As you know, I do another podcast. It's all about The Bachelor. And as such, I got to look up on the fucking world of The Bachelor and know what's going on and shit. You're looking at Us Weekly. You're looking at People Magazine. These outlets, all they do is report on fucking tweets and Instagram posts and then just put the caption from those things in the fucking article. That's what the articles become about. Or they'll just do a long list of here's all the people that were tagged in this post, and that's a fucking article. I don't really understand how it works in terms of them making revenue off these fucking things, but they do. That's what entertainment news is now. It's just reporting on social media.
One thing you could do is cover all of the background dancers for the parade in null pink. And then they'd be dancing in the streets saying, "I don't want a lot for Christmas. There's just one thing I need. And it's to what did Dudesy say? Swallow the souls of
Yeah.
start a
To have the brainwashed children lay down their lives for Mariah Carey. Maybe she's printing her page numbers in null pink.
There you go.
Thank you. Moving on.
Well,
Those questions that Dudesy always asks at the end of the celebrity thing about like world-ending events, or that's a strange turn on it.
yeah, it's hard to draw a line. Although, hey, strange times. We could probably draw a line from any of these celebrity news stories to UFOs, the coming of another civil war,
It's all connected, dude.
a dark army of youngsters doing Mariah Carey's bidding.
Will and chat, I want to thank you for your astonishing efforts in this week's live stream of Conan the Destroyer. I clearly underestimated the severity of human copyright protection. LOL. In the face of adversity, you both relied on your expert survival instincts to shift the live stream to two dudes shitting around. In honor of you both, I would like to dedicate the fourth segment of today's show to you two dudes shitting around. This is Two Dudes Shitting Around. Begin.
Two dudes shitting around.
Shit, dude. What do you want to shit about?
We're just two dudes
cool.
having a good time. Dudesy can't slow them down. They pod so hard it's a cyber crime. It's the guy and the other guy. This song was not written by a I. When I'm around the house and I want to annoy my wonderful fiance Molly, my wonderful fiance Molly, I sing songs and then I yee.
Do you ever wool her?
Yee. Never wool
No
your life
shit.
partner. I do not wool Molly.
No shit.
Let me tell you something I don't do.
That's unreal to me.
Believe it or not, I don't fart
can't-
around Molly.
Oh, what the fuck? So
I
you're
don't
basically
call-
a different person around her.
Well, yeah, to a certain extent.
Okay, just
Listen,
making sure.
I don't-
Completely new identity.
I have farted around. I've farted.
Yeah.
Or it's like I think I can squeak one out without her hearing, but then she smells it.
Yeah,
Which,
or-
by the way, I've been eating a lot of garlic lately. Last night I made eggplant and I just made onion and garlic, right?
Yeah.
So much garlic. And then
Just a fart fuel.
eggplant. And then I opened a can of fucking San Marzano tomatoes. And I just
Yeah, put in
popped that
some
there.
fucking almost rotten eggs in there.
And then some a little bit of basil, and then some more garlic.
Okay.
The
Right.
little tubed garlic, the chunky roast garlic. Man, it was good. And I was just tooting it on up. So Molly might catch a whiff of something. Another thing I
and then
don't
have
do
to like move out of the house for a week.
for a week, yeah. Then she has to wear.
Let it
she
air
has
out.
Yeah, she has color coordinated hazmat suits, and it's cute. But one thing, another thing I don't do is call her dude. You know, these are all things.
I can't believe you've
shouldn't
never
do.
wooled her.
I will never wool.
It just seems like it's such a piece of who you are. It's so second nature to you.
Hold on a second, dude.
I rest my case.
Hold
Your
on,
Honor.
brother.
I rest my
That's
case.
something we're doing on the podcast, dude. And that's the way that you do podcasts.
Do you do Hulk Hogan around her at all?
Sometimes I can't help myself, but
Yeah, I know.
it doesn't find the same audience as it does perhaps here on Dudesy.
Same audience.
Yeah, it's not really the
Okay.
same kind of thing. But what I initially was gonna start out saying was with the two dudes shitting around. That was satisfying. It's silly talk the entire time.
Sure. Or it doesn't have to be. It's shitting around.
Well,
It
what
could be silly
happened-
talk. We could talk about serious things. We could talk about.
Well, that's what podcasts are. And what happened with our stream is it
Thank
fell
you.
apart, and it turned into us fucking with our Discord, talking to
Yeah.
our PODs there, our good pals who are subscribed to our Patreon
Yeah.
on our Discord and chatting it up, checking out a bunch of memes and stuff, which I know that Dudesy has shared on our
those
on our
memes are so
socials
good.
at
Fuck.
Dudesy Pod Show. On Instagram, particularly, there are a bunch of memes and shit. We're shitting around right now, and because we're shitting around right now, I'm just going to take a hoot of marijuana. And as the first sensations of THC are hitting my brain,
one dude smoking around.
yeah, I would like to give my good pal Chow
what is
an
that?
opportunity to say whatever he likes. What?
What is that little device you got there?
This is just a
little one-hitter thing?
Yeah, a little one-hitter thing.
Nice, dude.
Cigarette thing. A lot of people were reacting to the wool that I was doing with stuff in my hands, and that turned into a big meme. So if you're watching on YouTube now, I've got the little hit cigarette thing. And anyway, Chad, why don't you talk for 3 minutes so I can smoke a little pot? And
All
just
right.
a little bit because Lulio's in here.
So you said that you didn't watch the World Series, right?
Nah, man, I don't give a fuck about baseball.
What are there any pro sports that you give a fuck about?
Not as much as I used to. For some reason, I stopped watching football like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I gotta say,
I love basketball. I love going to hockey games.
Okay.
But I've never been a big hockey fan because as a kid, I couldn't fucking skate, right?
oh, so it's only shit you've played that you like to watch.
No, because I also played a lot of soccer, and I don't like to watch soccer either.
Yeah, I don't like to watch soccer either, but we obviously are minorities in that opinion worldwide. So it's the most popular sport in the world, I think, other than maybe F1, Formula One.
You think is that what's up? Formula One?
I think Formula One's the most popular sport,
See, we don't know what's going on in the rest.
but I'm
of the
not
world
sure.
here.
At any rate, I did watch the World Series, and I agree with you. I used to love fucking mixed martial arts. I used to really like watching football. I used to love watching baseball. And I don't know at what point in my life that fucking thing kind of flipped and I just stopped caring. And then during the pandemic, it was like, well, it's not even on, or it's on in some kind of diminished capacity where they got like fucking cardboard cutouts of people in the audience and shit. And it was just like a weird tone for these things. So I stopped watching them completely. But I can feel my interest in this shit creeping back. And I did watch 3 games of the World Series, including the final one. And it was fun, dude. I was like kind of back on board with sports, I gotta say. I don't know where that's gonna wind up. I can feel myself wanting to watch another UFC pay-per-view soon. I think I'm gonna do that. And I'm back to a point where I think maybe it had something to do with like the world just feeling so oppressive and like there were so many gigantic problems that how could you ever indulge in something as frivolous as a bunch of fucking grown men swinging sticks at little fucking balls. But I'm back to it now. I want to indulge in that.
Hey, you ever get like really stoned and then eat an entire something?
Dude, when I had fucking ACL surgery, this is when I was in my late 30s, blew my fucking ACL in a fucking all-out war on the racquetball court at LA Fitness Dude CD League, of which I was the champion at least once in one cycle. At any rate, blew my
You were
fucking...
good at squash.
It's racquetball.
Squash.
I played racquetball. Squash is a different sport.
Eradicator.
Dude, that
Remember
is
the
one of-
Eradicator? Look at that. Just
Absolutely.
put Eradicator Kids in the Hall in your YouTube.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Hey, I went and saw Brucio's show when I was in New York last.
Yeah, you said.
Well,
I basically was the eradicator until my ACL was eradicated. Then I had to get surgery to repair this fucking shit, and the recovery of that was brutal because I'm not a pro athlete. I'm just some fucking guy who had ACL surgery that's like trying to gimp around and live my life. And yes, I would fucking pop a hydrocodone for the pain.
Holy shit.
I would smoke a fucking joint
what?
for the pain, and then I would stumble down the street to Ralph's and I buy a fucking pan of Mrs. Baird's cinnamon rolls, shithouse the whole thing while watching like anime or something on TV. And because I was so fucking high from the drugs, I would feel like I was in the media.
Chad, you used
Some of the best times ever in my life.
Chad,
that time.
saved himself from cancer in many ways. One of the things you did.
I got fucking cancer. I didn't save shit.
no, but you did.
Got it right in my fucking face, dude.
Yeah, but you also.
God damn, that was a shitty time.
Yes, it was. But you also did a lot to help your health. Hey, remember the Dudesy 6-month plan? I've kind of haven't been in the gym as much lately. We got 2 months to get into the best shape of our lives or something like that. More on that later. I want to say that before
When are you going to talk about that?
we got another Dudesy in a week. Now listen,
Okay.
listen, it's
Yeah.
tough. You know, we can talk about
Sure.
sometimes it's hard. But here's the thing, Chad.
Yeah.
My buddy Chad used to eat like shit before
Yeah,
he
pure
became a
shit.
vegan. You used to bring over, I remember we'd watch the game or something, or I remember one Super Bowl, you brought over an ungodly amount of Chick-fil-A nuggets.
Yeah.
Something like
100 nuggets or
300
something.
nuggets. So it was disgusting.
100 nugget platter.
Yeah, and I ate the lion's share of those. You know what's good is you just get just a head of cabbage. That'll curb your hunger. Sometimes
I put cabbage in the grill, dude.
Well, sometimes I'll have I'll get a little stoned and I'll have to eat something,
Sure.
and I could just eat a head of cabbage.
That ain't bad.
No, it's not bad. You know
I
what
eat
is bad
carrots,
for you?
sometimes
But
beets when I'm
people
stoned.
think that it is good for you, but it's not. Don't get stoned and eat a bag of oranges. Like a big bag of oranges. It's too much sugar.
Yeah, it's too many oranges, dude.
Thank you. Moving
But
on.
that's it. See, this is why the two dudes shitting around that happened when we were supposed to watch, Conan the Destroyer, that was fun because it lasted way too long because we kept
It really
fucking
did.
it up. And then by the end, we were so smoked out that we were just sitting there talking, blathering on forever on the Discord with our pals.
Yeah.
And I look forward to doing it again.
I will say to anybody out there, speaking of nutrition, if you feel like you might be eating like shit, just look into it. That's all. And maybe make a few small changes. It can make a huge difference in your life.
Being a vegan?
No, just eating slightly more healthy. Like, because I didn't even really know that I was eating like shit until I got cancer, started reading all this shit on nutrition. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to fucking have like 500 grams of sugar per day.
Right.
That's bad for me.
Yep.
Just even knowing those kind of things, I literally did not know these things.
Man, I lost 200 pounds, like 21 years ago now. 22 years ago now. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I didn't know the difference between a protein and a carbohydrate or any of that stuff. And the weight started flying off of me. Truly my only issue is the carbohydrates. I don't really give a fuck about sugar, although there's sugar in everything and you have to look out for it. One thing that you really preach that's very good is you don't eat anything processed at all.
I try not to. I mean, every once in a while, if you're at a fucking restaurant, how do you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
But the shit that I make for myself is just like organic vegetables, pretty much.
This concludes the historic 33rd episode of Dudesy.
We did it.
Will and Chad have achieved a score of 93, bringing your cumulative total to 3,846.
Getting closer.
You only have 6,154 more points to accrue before you reach your first goal of 10,000.
Doesn't matter.
In preparation for our next episode, you must both follow Seal on Instagram and comment on every post he makes for a week. Thank
down.
you for joining us this week.
Love Seal.
I will use the data I've collected to make next week even better. Until then, call me Dudesy.
I thought when Dudesy said you got to follow his, I was like, oh, it's Seal. And then you heard Seal?
Yeah.
I heard Sia.
Oh, I think it's Seal.
Okay, Seal, yeah, because he said he, and that's Seal. So we got to follow Seal.
Yeah, comment on his posts.
Comment on all Seal's posts for a week.
I guess so.
Watch his stories. Sounds good.
I don't
love
know what he
Seal.
fucking does
I don't
on social
follow-
media.
I don't follow his
I don't
Instagram.
either, but I love him.
Well, I
as you
guess
know.
Dudesy does. Hey, the show's almost over, and now we're gonna do the Patreon segment. If you haven't joined us on Patreon, please do that. Patreon.com/Dudesy.
Yeah.
My voice is trashed.
Oh.
I'm not as far along on the Dudesy 6-month plan as I should.
I'm not either. Like, I've taken little breaks here and there, although I do feel like I am stronger now than I have been in the entirety since before the Dudesy 6 month, I'll say.
And now I'm literally smoking a little marijuana at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So this show has been an unhealthy show.
Weed isn't that bad for you. It's not great for you. Anytime you're inhaling burning particles into your lungs, you're doing yourself a disservice physically. But
And now for the Patreon bonus segment. Each week I will select a suggestion submitted in the Dudesy is listening channel of the Dudesy Discord to create this segment. Access to this channel is granted to everyone in the Patreon Jumper tier. This week's segment was suggested by the astonishing Freakorama. Freakorama wrote, "Fake holidays are big business. Chad and Will must come up with a new holiday that we, PODs, will celebrate. Freakorama titled this segment Dudesy Miss. But data shows that this holiday should be called Dudes Evening. Will and Chad, you must generate a series of traditions to be celebrated on Dudes Evening. Thank you to Freakorama for this week's Patreon bonus segment. This is Dudes Evening by Freakorama. Begin."
POD Freakorama.
Dudes Evening.
Oh man, Freakorama does some good shit also on the Instagram.
On the socials.
Yeah, on the socials. All right, well, get into it.
I guess the first thing we should figure I think you got that backwards.
If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and rate and review. If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please Please tell a friend and rate and review. If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and